Welcome back to Red vs. Blue episode summaries. Today, I'll be doing episode 23, The Joy of Toggling. The Reds and Doc return to Red Base, where Griff tells Doc about how he once gave Sarge CPR for a bullet wound in the head. Doc sounded like he was in disbelief at first, but actually responded that he thought that was a perfectly normal remedy, with Griff agreeing, insinuating that no one else agreed with him. Doc replied that people often overlook alternative methods of care, dumbly citing how he simply rubbed Caboose's leg with aloe vera in a callback to episode 15, and claimed he was fine. Griff shrugged off Doc's last response, not really listening, stating he was just glad that Sarge was wrong, who then proceeded to yell at him to simply keep watch over the prisoner, not make friends or play wimpy games with him. Griff retorted that there was no need to worry about Doc since he didn't have a gun, leading Simmons to joke that they would be best friends since Doc didn't have a gun and Griff didn't have ammo. Griff, calling Simmons a kiss-ass, rebutted sarcastically that if he wanted any guarding tips from the guy who lost Tex when she was prisoner, he would ask him. Donut commented excitedly on how good of a burn that was on Simmons multiple times in succession, leading Simmons to simply tell Donut to shut up, considering how his armor was still pink. Doc then butted in the conversation, assuring the other Reds that him and Griff weren't actually friends like Simmons suggested, and that they were just talking. Griff stared at Doc in annoyance, leading Doc to nonchalantly apologize, defending himself by saying that the only way for him to progress at Red Base was to not be associated with Griff, due to how unpopular he was. Doc continued by assuring Griff it was only because no one else liked him, hoping he would understand, but Griff simply continued blankly staring at him, leading Doc to uncomfortably ask him to stop. Meanwhile, the Blues had returned to Blue Base, and Tucker was questioning Church as to whether he could fix Sheila or not, citing how Church could likely activate a repair sequence on Lopez's body since Lopez was a droid, who were commonly stereotyped as mechanics or repairmen. Church, interested in the idea, replied that it was worth a shot, instructing Tucker to stand back as he moved around in Lopez's body, grunting as he searched for a switch of some kind. After a few seconds, Tucker asked if Church had found anything, with Church explaining it wasn't easy to search himself. Tucker suggested that there being a hidden button on Church, leading Church giving him permission to search him while he kept trying from inside his body. After a bit more messing around, Church got excited as he found a new function, but the excitement quickly vanished when he discovered it just told the time and temperature, adding that it was currently 26 degrees. This shocks Tucker, who claims it should be freezing if that were actually the case. Church annoyedly specifies he was talking in Celsius, leading Tucker to defend himself by stating Celsius sucks. Tucker then bent down to search Church's lower half, almost immediately claiming to find something, which he later clarified as a switch, after Church inquired if it was a button. Church ordered Tucker to flip it, with Tucker surprisingly denying. Church questioned what the problem was, with Tucker vaguely confirming it was in a weird place, referring to the dick. Despite the vague statement, Church knew exactly what Tucker meant, even when he annoyedly said, "You gotta be kidding me." Tucker responded by begging Church to flip it himself, with Church explaining the robot arms weren't flexible enough to even reach it. Tucker then suggested getting Caboose to do it, with Church countering that someone as dumb as him probably couldn't even flip a switch. Tucker panicked as he couldn't come up with any other solutions, with Church chuckling as he encouraged Tucker to flip it, claiming they would laugh about it later anyway over dinner. Church's treat. This was convincing enough for Tucker to quickly touch the switch, but when he did, he angrily claimed it was stuck and wouldn't move. Church, in a suggestive tone, suggested Tucker try wiggling it, with Tucker denying this suggestion even more, retorting that he would not wiggle Church's dongle. This led Church to accuse Tucker of being a baby, bitterly demanding him to just wiggle it. Tucker gave in, further attempting to move the switch, but retracting his hand at lightning speed once again when Church jokingly, suggestively asked, "You from around here, baby?" ranting at Church before getting cut off by his half-sincere apology, adding that he was just kidding around. Tucker complained that Tex was gone, claiming she wouldn't have trouble flipping it, with Church swiftly denying the idea, stating Tucker must have not fully gotten to know Tex yet. When Tucker finally worked up the courage to touch the switch again, he finally managed to move it, but at first it didn't appear to do anything, with Church confirming when Tucker asked him. However, Church then noticed a beeping sound, asking Tucker if he heard it, neither of them relating it to the switch. Back at the Red Base, from which you could also hear the same beeping noise, Sarge asked Simmons and Donut for suggestions on what to do with the prisoner. Simmons only suggested getting him away from Griff, only half-jokingly admitting that that punishment was too cruel and unusual for anyone. Donut then suggested having him trade armor with one of them, with it being obvious who he was insinuating, claiming that would be a really good punishment. The beeping then stopped as the Warthog began talking, stating it was online, and the holding beacon was activated. Donut, in disbelief, questioned Sarge if the Warthog really just talked, with Sarge simply responding, "Uh-oh," as the beeping resumed.